I do have a couple of announcements tonight. I do want to wait a second before I begin because there's in my opinion, there's a really good story that I wanted to share with everybody tonight. So hopefully we can get some people on before I tell that story so that no one misses it. So again, give me just a second, and as soon as this decides to load, then we will get started. Um, Let's see here. All right, so we do a couple things here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a live Q&A. So if you have any questions about raising quail, selling quail, hatching quail, I don't know, anything about Coturnix quail, feel free to ask, and we will do our best to help you on your adventure with Coturnix quail. We do a couple fun things here every Sunday as well, other than just answer your questions. If you've hatched any eggs from us this past week and have not given us the information, feel free to let us know what that is. We'll write that down and add that to our list. We keep track of the average hatch rate on chipped eggs for the year. We are currently over 74% hatch rate on chipped eggs, which is fantastic. I started doing this a few years ago. I think the first year we ended up at like 72%, or maybe right below it. I should have looked before the live, but I didn't have time. And we're up to over 74%, so I'm really, really happy about that. I do think a lot of it has to do with the education that everybody has available to them, whether it's Quail University or YouTube videos or Facebook or whatever the case may be, and not necessarily just me. But there's so much out there that I think that it really helps people do better on raising and taking care of Coturnix quail. So I'm very excited about that. And then also we support each other here. So let's be kind in the comments. And if you can just support us by just hitting the like button, that is enough for us. We would really appreciate it. Our goal tonight is to get to 120 likes. So that would be great if you can help us do that. And obviously ask your questions. So if you have any, feel free to let us know. And as soon as I get through the comments, which I'm putting off for just another minute before more people join, because I do have a fun story to tell everybody tonight, then that would be great. And if you want to let us know where you're from, it's always interesting to see where all the quail people are at in the world. Every week it seems like another state kind of takes over, which is kind of cool. I think 2 weeks ago it was like California, and this week or last week it seemed to be like Texas. So that's kind of cool to see where everybody's at in the world. Usually we have a few international people on here, which is also a lot of fun. So yeah, let's just have fun, ask your questions, and we'll get right into it. Let's support each other by hitting the like button. So I got a couple of announcements. Number one is we started Quail University just a couple weeks ago. I guess it was a month and a half ago, maybe. I don't remember. Time goes crazy here on the farm. But we introduced Quail University. If you want to know anything about Quail University, you can just join or visit our website at myshirefarm.com. We've got a special tab just about Quail University that will give you more information. But we had some graduates. Now, I missed last week because it was Mother's Day and I spent it with my mother. But for all the mothers out there, happy late Mother's Day. I hope everybody had a great day. But we had some graduates last week, and then we also had some graduates this week, and I wanted to just do a special shout out. Last week was Crystal M, Bill N, Brian A, and Brooke M. So congratulations to you guys for completing the course, getting your certificate and everything, and becoming a master quail raiser, which is pretty cool. And then this week we had Terry S, Philip M, Elizabeth J, Bobby Joe B, and Aaron E. So congratulations to you guys for completing the course this week and also getting your certificate. We also had 2 more affiliates join the party. That was Sharon F and Fran C. So congratulations and good luck on that. And then we're also doing Zooms. So I've actually done one-on-one Zooms with Quail University attendees, I guess. I don't really know what to call them, but anyone that's part of Quail University can sign up for Zoom meetings with either myself or Jasmine weekly. We can sign that up, and I've done a couple of them so far. And it brought me to a story. Now, I do want to finish the last few announcements, but I want to tell you the story, and I was waiting because usually in about the 10-minute mark is when most of the people join in. So just bear with me for just another minute. So I'll get back to that in just a second. QuailCon, the camping is sold out for right now. We will look into that to see if we can add some more. But if you're interested in QuailCon, it is an event here on Myshire Farm in September. We'd love for everybody to be able to come. If you want more information on that, you can just go to our website, myshirefarm.com, and there's a tab on there for that as well. And then I redid the waiting times on the website this week. I am very, very excited to announce that we are at about 1 to 3 weeks out on almost everything in the barn, which is very exciting. On the color side, we're about 1 to 2 weeks out. We'll take a big hit on that this week and hopefully get to about the 2-week mark, which means that if you order, it goes out pretty promptly. In fact, somebody just ordered BTAs, the Black Tie Affair, yesterday. It's going out tomorrow. So there's certain colors that are going out immediately. But the reason why I'm so excited about that is because now we are going to be setting up cages for our live quail. So we will be putting that together in the next week or two, putting in literally over 1,500 eggs. And we will start being able to ship live quail again in the next few weeks. So that is very exciting. That's what we've been waiting on, to get caught up with the orders so that people aren't waiting too long. And my goal was 3 weeks or under on everything in the barn. And we are there, so I'm very excited about that. All right, let me tell you the story real quick, and then we will get into the comments. And I think you'll like this story. I liked it a lot. Now, let me give you some background real quick. Usually I try to do my phone every day. Text messages, emails, this, that, and the other. Now, if by chance something's going on, like there will be a day this week that I'm completely outside all day, I will not be even touching my phone. I won't be looking at it, nothing. And there's a big project that I've got to get done this week. And usually when there's a day that's like that, I typically, on average, have about 50 text messages the next morning. So I get about 50 texts a day. Now, I've had up to about 110, and I've had as little as about 28. But the average is about 50 texts a day, and that does not include my emails or Jenna's emails or Facebook messages or whatever the case may be. So we get a lot of texts, and a lot of it is questions, a lot of it is information as far as hatch rates go, a lot of it is this, that, and the other. And I would say not very often, but once in a blue moon, I'll get just a nasty text, just a out of nowhere, never talked to them before, just a horrible, just mean-spirited text that they don't want to resolve any issues, they just want to be mean, right? Now, also in a blue moon, I get a lot of text messages saying, hey, I got, like, for example, I literally just responded to one before I came on here, and they're like, hey, just want to let you know we got an 87% hatch rate on our shipped eggs. This is like our 8th time doing it. We've ordered from multiple places. You're the highest. With all your videos, I think we've also done better as far as knowing how to incubate better, blah, blah, blah. And that was very nice, very positive, awesome. And that was our goal here, is to educate, encourage, and enthuse. Now, in a blue moon, I get a very rewarding story. And so I want to share this story with you. Now, I've not done a video on this. I've got a playlist called I've done a playlist called Quail for Profit. And in that, I've tried to give a lot of information for you guys to think about how you want to sell your quail, start your business, continue your business, things like that. I don't try to tell you how to do it. I just give you a lot of information for you to think on and act upon, right? That's my goal. That's how I choose to do it. Now, I've not done a video on this because I don't know how to do a video without it sounding like I'm selling you, right? So I have, on average, about 3 to 5 people at any given time that I ship on a monthly basis to. So, for example, they'll have contacted me and said, hey, I need, I can only incubate X amount of eggs. I can only incubate 300 eggs, every 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be. And so I want, can we set up something where you're shipping me 300 eggs every 2 weeks, like just continuously every week or every 2 weeks on a schedule? On average, I do about 3 to 5 of these at a time. Now, there's parameters that we set in place. So they have to order a certain amount of eggs long term, and in that case, for example, this person that contacted me was one of those people. I've been working with them for about a year and a half. In that year and a half, they contacted me, and it was, I believe, around August last year. I do believe somewhere around there. It was before QuailCon. I can't remember. But they contacted us and said that they had some quail, but they really want to try to do the quail for profit thing and make this a small business. They don't have the space. They just can't, they just don't have the space, right? So they said, but there's a market here. I know we can sell them if we could raise them, but I'm trying not to give a lot of information away as far as personal information, right? So he said, me and my wife both work two full-time jobs, out of the house. We've got 3 kids. It's just, we don't have the time, the resources, we don't have the space to try to build our business, but there is a market. And I said, well, can you sell chicks? And he said, yeah, we could sell, as many chicks as we had. We don't have the space or anything like that. I said, well, there's a few people that do this, and I told them about the process. And what they do is they just order eggs. We get them on a schedule, and they sell the chicks day olds. So they get the eggs, they put them in the incubator, they hatch out, and then they've already pre-sold them. So they just have the people come get them. So they just need one brooder for a short amount of time. They don't need any cages. They don't need a lot of stuff. They need a good incubator and this, that, and the other. And then, they just keep doing that. And so, they sell their chicks for about I think they sell them for $2.50, but I did not check. They might have raised prices this year. But as of last year, they were selling their chicks for $2.50 each. Now, the eggs that they're buying from us is 60 cents each. They're averaging around an 85% hatch rate every 2 weeks. So they're making a profit, and they're not having to have the whole infrastructure. I know this is a long story, but I promise this is going to get somewhere. I wanted to make you understand the process behind all of it. So anyways, that was last August, and they said, let's just keep doing it. I keep sending them, information every 2 weeks, and it's been going on literally since like last August or something of that nature. Well, I haven't really talked to them in a while. Life is busy and this, that, and the other, but we've continued the process. Now, they contacted me this week, and he said, I know you don't take phone calls. I know that you're super busy. I know that you're in the barn all the time, but I'm telling you, I really have to talk to you. It is very, very important. And so I stepped out of the barn and I called and I said, hey, I'm not trying to be rude. I really don't have that much time to talk, but what's up? He said, I just really wanted to let you know that we really appreciate you. And I said, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. He said, no, I really need to tell you the story. And it's going to take a few minutes, but I got to tell you the story. So he gave me some background. Long story short is what they wanted to do starting last August is they really wanted to have a self-sufficient lifestyle and start raising things or doing things in their small little area that can start paying for things so that they can start moving to their ultimate goal, which is a self-sustainable, small little farmstead where they can work on the farm. Okay. Well, they've been doing this, and they're doing other things as well, but they've been doing the chicks every week, and it's been 300. They get an 84% hatch rate. I can't remember, mid-80s. And they've been selling out every week. They've got continuous customers. They get new customers all the time, this, that, and the other. He called this week and said that they have fully made the decision that they've saved up enough money where his wife has completely put her notice in to quit her job, and the small businesses they have going on in the house and in the backyard are doing extremely well. And that, and he started getting emotional on the phone, and he just said, this is what I wanted. I'm willing to work as hard as I can away from the house so that my kids can have everything. And they are, one of her dreams was to homeschool. And so she just unenrolled, I guess it was, the kids out of public school. She's going to start homeschooling next year, take a bigger interest in the business so that relieves him a little bit so they can have more family time. And that's what it's all about. So I'm not saying that's for everybody. I get that. But it was a really powerful moment when we were on the phone. Now, I didn't do anything at all. I supplied some eggs to them, so I didn't do anything. They have put in a year and a half of work and hard work and sweat and tears and late nights and stress and all this stuff. They've given up a lot to make this happen. But that's really why we're here. And I'm talking about Myshire Farm. Like that's why we want to do this. Because if we can just help a few people in the smallest way to move towards their goal, they're not done. They're just getting started. But I have a feeling that they've got a fire under them, and they're going to get to where they want to go. They're not, wanting to take over the world. They want a 1 to 2 acre farm where they can do what they want to do, raise what they want to raise, and homeschool their kids and this, that, and the other. And I understand that might not be everybody's goal or dream or whatever the case may be. But whatever it is, if you get to it and you get a plan together and you just stay consistent, because it did take a year and a half for this to happen, but it happened. And so I asked him on the phone, I said, well, so you guys have been working 40 hours a piece each on your regular job. He said, yeah. And I said, and you've probably been putting in how many hours? And he said, well, combined, we've been putting about 30 to 35 hours on the side jobs, the side projects, the quail and the small vegetable garden they've got and things like that. And I said, so you've been putting in, 80 hours a week? And he said, yeah, absolutely. I said, and this has been for a year and a half? He said, yep. And I said, is it worth it? Are you happy with it? Are you okay with the sacrifice that you put in to get where you are right now? And without hesitation, he said, if it would have taken twice as long, it'd be worth it. So my point was that was very inspiring to me. I hope that maybe just 1 or 2 of you get that and can take that to another level on your personal situation. But it is 100% possible, and they did it. I was so excited and I got caught up in the conversation. I did not ask to be able to reveal this story, but I haven't given their information away at all. But if you are watching, you said that you usually watch them. Congratulations. I'm really proud of you. I've been thinking about it all week, and I just think that's an awesome story. So their next step is they're going to start looking for a house or a farm and just start saving up. And they said if it takes us 3 years to get there or 5 years to get there with all the side businesses, then that's what it takes. But it's all worth it. So make sure that I've got a lot of young people that watch this channel as well. Make sure that you just set a goal and you just keep doing it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It's not the skilled people, it's not the most intellectual people that make the best out of life. It's the people that just keep doing the same thing. It's the people that are just consistent and persevere. And they're heroes, in my opinion, and I was really proud of them. So that was my story. I know that it's been 20 minutes. I haven't even gotten to the comments, but I thought that story was well worth everybody hearing, and hopefully somebody else got inspired. So I am sorry to waste everybody else's time that was not interested. We will get into the comments now. If you've got any questions, concerns, comments about Coturnix Quail, feel free to comment. I will get to it now. Hit the like button, support the channel, and let's be kind to each other in the comments, shall we? let's get started. Anime gamers in the house, welcome, glad you're here. Oh, and if you are here, let us know where you're from. It's always interesting to see where all the Quail people are at in the world. Carrie's in the house, gives us a wave. Welcome, glad you're here. Said, I just hatched out 22 out of the 30 feather sexable variety. I'm super happy and trying to figure out what the orangish colors are. Most likely they are Egyptians, but congratulations on that and wonderful hatch rate. Our hatch, you did do it correctly. How we keep track is it's how many you ordered compared to how many you hatched out. So we send extra per order. So if you got 30, that means you would have ordered 25. So our big thing with our hatch rate guarantee, because we guarantee a 50% hatch rate no matter what, no matter if it's the incubator problem or USPS problem or whatever. My big thing is I just want you to get your money worth. You know, everybody works very hard for the money that they have, no matter how much or how little it is. They work very hard to get that money. So I want you guys to have your money's worth. So we take what you ordered versus what you hatched out. But your actual hatch rate would have been the 30 out of 22. I agree. But 22 out of 25 ordered of the feather sexable mix is a fantastic hatch rate. Congratulations. And you're doing great. You did great. Congratulations. Texas Top Shelf Reptiles is in the house. Says, man, I hope I can make this one have some questions. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Joy is in the house. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Vay's Place and Ed Got Bait are my moderators on here. They are in blue. They usually try to help you before I get to the questions because I tend to talk a lot. For example, the first 20 minutes was all about what I wanted to talk about, not what your guys' questions are. So I apologize about that. But they try to help you out. This will be the last week that we do any links in the comments for specific reasons or certain reasons. You know, we'll give you that information, but we won't be doing any links going forward. Keep that in mind as well. John F. is in the house, says, good evening, welcome, we're glad you're here. Let's see. No one's talking to me yet. I got to get to it. Let's see. Anime Gamer says hello. Welcome. Glad you're here. Ed Got Bait says hello to everyone. Welcome. Let's see. M. Barth is in the house. Is there a less expensive incubator you would recommend? The best bang for your buck, I personally think, is the Little Giant. We had really good success with that. We did a video on that. It's on our playlist, Quail Product Reviews, that you can check out and see if that works for you. But you can fit a lot of eggs in there. I think up to like 120 quail eggs in there. It's maybe about $170. But you can definitely get very good hatch rates out of it. You will have to change it a little bit. You know, you'll have to insulate it a little bit more and you'll have to do this and do that. But best bang for your buck if you're willing to put a little bit more effort into it. I was really impressed with the Little Giant. John is in the house from Mobile, Alabama. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Shelly is in the house from South Carolina. Welcome. Erica Willis is here. Welcome. Glad you're here. Margaret is in the house from Arnie Farms in Texas. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Quail Corner Homestead is in the house from Ray and Gretchen in New Jersey. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Todd Carter's in the house. My quail are 6 weeks old and haven't started laying. Could you talk about the most common reasons for them not laying? I actually have a video on that. If you type into the YouTube search bar, Quail Not Laying by Myshire Farm, that video will show up. Gives you a bunch of reasons or a bunch of things to check. But it could be, I mean, they are only 6 weeks old, so they're still young. It could be that most likely either they're overcrowded or they don't have enough light. They need about 16 to 18 hours of light a day. But again, they're still kind of young. They start laying at around 6 to 8 weeks old. You're at the very beginning of that. But I would watch that video and see if there's any environmental things that you can change, but I wouldn't worry too much about it yet. Terry's in the house. Aloha from the Big Island. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Let's see. 966 is in the house. I've got 7 quail that are 6 weeks old, 6 hens and 1 roux. I'm only getting about 2 eggs a day, and some days none. What can I do to increase that rate? Same answer. I would check out, Quail Not Laying Eggs by Myshire Farm in the YouTube search bar. Watch that video. That'll give you a bunch of reasons why or things to check. But again, they're only 6 weeks old. If you just got them, that will change some things as well. Anytime you change their environment, you move them, whatever. That could be the case as well, but they are still kind of young, and they need about 16 to 18 hours of light a day would be the top 2. Eric Willis is in the house. I actually had hatched 2 weeks ago, but haven't had a chance to report. I had 35 were duds, 23 hatched, no chicks lost at 2 weeks old. That is wonderful to hear. Eric, if you're still on, if you could let me know what kind you ordered, I'd greatly appreciate it. 23 out of 25 ordered. That is wonderful to hear. Wonderful hatch rate. Good job on that. And I am starting the All About the Colors playlist that gives you all the lowdown on each one of the colors. I did the Growl and Growl Tux this week. I'll actually be posting an extra video this week tomorrow. It's about the Jumbo White Wings. It's going to give you the average size, average egg size, how many they lay in a year, what they look like, how to sex them. And I'm starting that playlist weekly, so make sure you check that out. But that's exactly why this is important, because on there I tell you what the average hatch rate is as well for each specific one, which is why I ask for what kind they have. Hobby and Homestead's in the house from Connecticut. Welcome. We're glad you're here. The Norseman's Homestead is in the house from Southeast Texas. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Kevin is in the house from North Carolina, and Shelly from South Carolina. Welcome both. Glad you're both here. Lester is in the house from South Louisiana. Welcome. And 966 is in the house from Arkansas. We're all over the map tonight. Welcome, everybody. John F. is in the house because Zach will tell me to use his feed. It's not for sale here. Must not be talking to me. Bags of Love is in the house from North Carolina. Welcome. We're glad you're here. John is in the house from Arizona. Welcome. Chad is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Carrie Carver's in the house from Utah. Erica Willis is in the house. Just got in from helping a first-time goat mama birth triplets. Well, that's exciting. Congratulations. We've done that here before. It's been twins, not triplets, but I get the idea. Michelle's in the house from Oregon. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Lester says, my goals from you are 1 week old today. Question, what do you breed to get the eggs? In other words, I should have a percentage of wilds because it seems like about 20% look like wilds. There's certain things that we do for our breeding program. One of our biggest things is we breed for health and we breed for, we'll just leave it at that. We really make sure that we want our quail to be very happy and healthy for you, right? Now, breeding 100% true in a color is not a bad thing, but most of our customers, or in our mind, the reason why we sell quail is to, help you become more self-sufficient, or help you have a side income to help you become more of what you want to do, whatever the case may be. Now, with that, inbreeding is very important to us as far as you, we don't want you to worry about it. So there's certain things that we'll put together every year so that you don't have to worry about that. Typically with the golds, about maybe 5 to 7% would be wilds. So 20% seems like a lot more than what you should, but typically about 5 to 7%. Chad is in the house. I have a broody quail hen every day laying, and got to move her off 10 eggs in our aviary pen. Well, that's pretty exciting. She might hatch them out for you. That's pretty cool. Good luck with that. and it was feather sexable. I love that idea as well. That is wonderful. Actually, our feather sexable mix is the highest hatch rate mix that we have on the farm. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see, John F's. Oh, you're not talking to me. Ruby's in the house, says, hi, Zach. Ruby from Pennsylvania. I bought the Nurturite 360 and watched your video. Do you remember if you covered up the small hole in the lid in the back? My order will go on lockdown at the end of the week. We did not. I do remember that. We did not cover that up. And good luck. That's super exciting going into lockdown. So good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll be happy to help you. We do have a lot more people on than when I told the story. So the first 20 minutes of our video, just so everybody knows, I gave announcements. Now the announcements only lasted about 3 minutes, and then I gave you about a 17-minute story. But I think that it's a very inspiring and very cool story for everybody to hear. So if you are interested about a really cool story and very inspiring story from someone else, feel free to check out the first 20 minutes whenever you leave here, and it's well worth it to listen to the story. It's a really cool story. Diana Tuttle from Tut Farms is in the house from Kansas. Excited my Myshire assortment color mix is hatching. I will let you know, Zach, on how many hatch. Well, that is wonderful to hear. Congratulations and good luck. I wish you all the best. Carrie Vera says, hi, welcome. We're glad you're here. JJ Willow's in the house. Hope everyone's weekend was a good one. It was productive for me. I like that. Dr. Connie's in the house from Central Florida. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Carrie says, I just hatched out 22 of the 30. Do you know what color the orangish color would be? I got the feather sexable mix. Most likely an Egyptian is what I would assume. Michelle, it could be an Egyptian fee as well. It's hard to say, but it would have the roux gene. That's why it's red or orange-ish. Michelle's in the house. How do you find the aggressive quail? I have been given 3, 1 male, 2 hens. Both male and the larger female hen have ended up bloody. Can it be the smaller hen is the aggressor? Most likely, I mean, statistically, it would be the male that's the aggressor, but the big issue is that there's only 3. When you only have like 1, 2, or 3 hens to every male, the male tends to overbreed a lot and either hurt the hens or the hens fight back and will kill the male. So if you can, I would get a couple more hens in the cage, and that should fix the issue, but that's probably what it would be. I'm not there. It could be something else, but that would be the most likely answer. Katrina's in the house. Says, hello, everyone from Gilroy, California. I hope everyone is well. I'll be just listening while working on my website. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Maria Carson's in the house from Twin Oaks Farms in North Canton, Ohio. Welcome. We're glad you're here. JJ said, I have my hands full with... Oh, you're not talking to me. Mary's in the house. Hey, everyone from Olympic Peninsula of Washington. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Wyatt Higgs is in the house. Hey, Zach, what are your jumbo colors? We've got jumbo white wings, which we're doing a video on tomorrow. It'll be posted, I think it's 11 a.m. On YouTube. And then we've got jumbo wilds, jumbo Egyptians, jumbo whites, and jumbo mix. And I would assume in the next month or so, we'll probably start selling the jumbo sex links again. Veronica says, good evening. Excited to get my eggs this week. Veronica from upstate New York. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Mary's in the house. My Myshire eggs are hatching as we speak. I have 35 in the brooder. That is wonderful to hear. Good luck. Obviously, keep me posted on the hatch rate. If you have any questions, good luck. But it sounds like you're doing fantastic. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. But congratulations so far. Sazin Pins, hope I said that correctly, from New Jersey. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Makes me sad that you get mean texts sometimes. Quail peeps should be nice to each other. I've learned a lot. I've learned a ton from your channel and look forward to ordering to enhance my covey. Thank you very much. And you can't please everybody. It is what it is. I don't get them very often. But every once in a while you can kind of tell that somebody just wants to fight and they don't really want to figure anything out or work anything out. They just Maybe they're having a bad day. I don't know. I do not take it personally. I can tell you that, though. Let's see. Katrina says, that's incredible, awesome story. Thank you for sharing, Zach. That is inspiring, from Shay Willow. Erica says, that's incredible. I'm very happy to hear that of their success. Absolutely. I told a story at the beginning of a success story of someone else, and it really touched my heart this week, so I wanted to share it. And if you missed it, make sure you check it out, because it's a pretty cool story. Foster Farms is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Rebecca's in the house. It's okay to put 5-day-old chicks with 2-week-old chicks. You're taking a big chance. I don't recommend it at all. The rule of thumb is, well, I mean, the best practice is to keep each age group separate, right? But the rule of thumb is it goes by 1 week. So you can put chicks in with 1-week-olds or 1-week-olds in with 2 weeks old. But after that, you really want to keep them separate. The 2-week-old will pick on the chicks. Also, the 2-week-olds won't need as much heat as the chicks. So that means that the 2 weeks old can either, overheat, or they'll start pecking their feathers out and not look so good. So it's not ideal. You might be able to get away with it. We've done it before and we got away with it. But we've also done it before and it's been an absolute disaster. So it's really a crapshoot at the 2-week mark. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can try it, but you need to keep an eye on them. Sorry, that's not a really good answer. But Sage Wolf 1975 is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Oh, I can't stand this chair anymore. I gotta switch chairs. Hold on. Oh, okay. Took my wife's chair that obviously she likes to sit on the ground. Lord. Let's try that. There we go. Oh. The noise is gone. Sorry, everybody. I just couldn't stand that noise. Yud P is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Bags of Love says, awesome story. Thank you very much. Yud P says, 4 more days till lockdown for mixed color from Myshire eggs. I hope I get some fun colors. Absolutely. Good luck. And I wish you all the best. Obviously, keep me posted. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Chad says, can everyone give Face Place a huge thumbs up? There you go. Happy Homestead says, yep, you're right, Zach. Set your compass and stay the course. Absolutely. Yeah, I love the story. I've been literally thinking about it all week. So, yeah, make sure you check out the story at the very beginning. Work Hard, Game Big is in the house. I have 2 thermometer and humidity reader, and they have different readings. Well, you can calibrate the separate thermometers and hygrometer. I recommend the Govee. That's what I've always liked. Since we tested a lot of them about a year ago, and the Govee seems to work best for me. It could be that if you've got them in separate places, that you've got a circulation issue, so there are different hot points or humidity issues in the incubator. That could be a case as well. You can, well, you need to calibrate the thermometers first, and then you can wrap your incubator with a towel or a blanket, put them back in there in the same place, make sure they're reading correctly. If they are, then you can move one to the other side. If they start giving you different numbers, then you've got a circulation issue. Sage Wolf says, question, what is the best thing to sterilize a brooder after using it? Best thing to do is actually half Listerine, half water. Just spray it down, wipe it down, and you're good to go. But that helps a lot. I wouldn't use anything else. I don't recommend using chemicals. It's just not worth it. No bleach. It's not the end of the world. I know people do it. There's many different ways to raise Coturnix quail, but spray the crap out of it with half Listerine, or well, you could spray the whole thing with Listerine and wipe it down and let the rest air dry, and you'll be good to go. Miriam's in the house. Thanks for sharing the story. It's inspiring. Thank you very much. I thought so as well. Jeannie's in the house from San Diego. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Work Hard Game Big says, one is the top and one in the bottom, and they have a 5-degree difference in the temp and humidity. Yeah, we just talked about that. I would, what is the word? calibrate. Jeez Louise. I'd calibrate the thermometers, make sure that they're reading correctly, and then put them together, make sure that they're reading the same there, move one over, and if it's still a 5-degree difference, then you've got a circulation issue, which could be the case. John is in the house. I live in southern Arizona. Any high temperature precautions besides shade and water I should be mindful of? Nope. They're very adaptable to their environment. You don't need to worry about any of that. So yeah, just make sure they have fresh, clean water at all times, and shade. Something to get out of the elements, rain, snow. You're not going to get snow right now, but heavy wind, whatever, and they'll be just fine. But no, you don't have to do anything different. Rebecca's in the house. Hatch rate 36 out of 59 mixed jumbos from Myshire. Not too bad. Thanks for letting me know. 36, you would have ordered 50 of the jumbo mix. That's not too bad. Congratulations. Thanks for letting me know, and good luck on the babies. Is that the same for the incubator sterilizing? Yep, absolutely. Chad's in the house. Excited to get my jumbo Egyptian eggs. Have they laid yet? JK. There you go. The jumbo Egyptians and the jumbo wilds are the furthest back, but they're going fast. I've got a lot of them. We get, let's see, dear God. Well, we get over 300 jumbo Egyptian eggs a day, and we get over, oh dear God. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 50, 7, 8. Dear Lord, we're getting over 800 jumbo wild eggs a day. Yeah, so we're going really fast on getting caught up, which was the goal. I'm super excited about that. I don't think you understand how excited I am just about that. I've been wanting to sell live birds all year, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it if people were waiting on their eggs for so long. But I would assume in the next 2 weeks, almost everything will be out that's been ordered already, and I am comfortable to start preparing and starting to sell live birds. So that is super exciting. Happy Homesteads in the house says, I just want to tell Zach, I've had the most fun and enjoyment for my standard variety pack. I just love them. I've got some eggs, blue, green with speckles and dots. Best temperament so far. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad you're enjoying them. I mean, that's a big part of it. You got to enjoy what you're doing, and it sounds like you are, so thank you very much. Full Astern is in the house from Richwood, Texas. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Rebecca said, using a Nurturai 316, Govee humidity is 76% with the vent wide open. How do I drop it? You can take some water out with a syringe or turkey baster, whatever the case may be. If you're at lockdown, that's exactly where you want to be. At this time of the year, now that the weather's changing, it's starting to get hot, there's no reason why you can't do a dry hatch, which means just if you're during the incubation process, and I want to be very clear on this so that you're not misunderstanding me. The incubation process is from the day you put them in until the day you put them into lockdown, right? So there's the incubation process and then there's the lockdown process. With that being said, during the incubation process in most areas, because it's getting so hot out during the day, that you can just do a dry hatch. In fact, I probably should do a video on that this week. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Which means you just do not add any water. You don't worry about the humidity. You just keep the temperature at 99.5. That's all you got to worry about. And then when you take the rails out, you put them into lockdown, you bump up that humidity to 75%, and you're off to the races. So that's what I would do since the weather's changing, is bump it up, or just don't add any water. If you want to take water out, that's not a big deal. And then at lockdown, put it back up to that 76%, and you should have a fantastic hatch. Foster Farms in the house from Tennessee. Welcome. I'll be there in a couple weeks. Probably not in Waynesboro, but I'll be in Tennessee in a few weeks. Work Hard, Game Big is in the house. What can I do for the cool spots? Maybe you're not talking to me. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't remember talking about that. maybe you probably were talking to me. Nuno Mello is in the house from Massachusetts. Out of 119 jumbos on the 17th, I got 97 left in the remaining of the eggs, and then I got 17 more. Oh dear God, where do you go? My question is, one of the birds stays at the same size. I'm gonna have to read that again. On the 17th, I got 97. So messages keep going up. So you got 97 out of, you would have ordered 110. That's a great hat trick. Congratulations on the jumbos. I like that. My question is, one of the birds stays at the same size. Most likely, because you did have a fantastic hatch rate, it was probably a failure to thrive. So usually with those, they usually don't hatch. They're just not strong enough to break through. But it sounds like you did a fantastic job on your actual incubating the quail. You know, you did really well with that. You had a huge hatch rate on jumbo wilds on chipped eggs. So that's fantastic. However, that one probably shouldn't have hatched out. It's probably a failure to thrive, or maybe like a runt. And so usually they make it, but they'll never produce eggs for you. They're not going to be a good breeder. I would put it out of its misery now, or you can keep it as a pet, but they usually always stay really small like that. Shelly's in the house. Do any of the varieties hatch better than the others? Well, I mean, we have like 27 different options on the website. So yes, by a lot, not really. I don't have the number in front of me. I did just do the video about the jumbo white wings, and they are the second, yes, they are the second highest hatch rate on jumbo eggs. The first one would be the jumbo whites. I did do that research today, and I remember that. I don't think, I can't think, I would have to look at the numbers which are in the barn, because that's where I've been doing the videos. I can almost guarantee you that there's been no variety of eggs this year that the average is below 70%. And I think the highest is a 78%, and the average obviously is 74, 75%. So they're all very close together. As far as the mixes go, how did I lose your question that fast? As far as the varieties go, like the mix, the fee mix, the feather sexful mix, the jumbo mix, the feather sexful mix is actually at the highest hatch rate. I mean, just alone tonight, we've had two of them. Two of the feather sexful mix, it's 22 out of 25 and 23 out of 25 hatch. And that's close to the numbers that I've been getting for a while. So the feather sexful is really high. I mean, it's like mid to high 80s. The variety mix is a little bit below that. I think it's maybe 80 or 78, somewhere around there. The jumbo mix would be the lowest, but I think that's still like a 73. So again, you know, that's pretty, they're in the ballpark of everything, if that makes sense. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, re-ask, and I'll try to come up with a better way to explain it. Alan's in the house from Oregon, Ohio. Welcome. We're glad to hear. My quail started to lay about a week ago, about 2/3 of soft shell and break. Is this normal? Yeah, the first week or two, they're just kind of working everything out. They're getting everything situated. So yeah, it's not a big deal. Now, with all the 2/3 soft shells usually also means that it's a low calcium. If I had to guess, and I don't know because I'm not there, you're still feeding them a starter grower or a high protein, I would switch them over to a layer feed immediately. They need the extra calcium to make this work, and that will also fix a lot of your issues. So you will have different size eggs, different shades, different colors of the eggs, you know, this, that, and the other. The first couple of weeks, they're just figuring it all out. That's not a big deal. With 2/3 of them being soft shell, that usually means that it is a calcium issue. and you need to switch them to a layer feed with a higher calcium immediately. Now that they're laying, they don't need as much protein, so take your protein down to about 15 to 20%, somewhere in that range, which will bump up the calcium automatically, and they should start doing much better for you. Good question. Rebecca's in the house 23 days in. I hear the chirping in the egg, but no zipping. Should I help them? You need to increase that humidity immediately. That's the issue. You need to increase that humidity. Like, if you're on day 23, you need to increase that humidity like 15%, like now, and let them go for maybe another 48 hours, but 23 days is really late, unfortunately. But yeah, increase that humidity as soon as possible. Do not help them out of the egg. It never works. It's not a good idea. But if you increase that humidity, you are helping them, because that egg is the reason why you increase your humidity at lockdown, is because that egg is obviously a hard egg, right? Well, when you increase that humidity, the egg shell softens. Well, they're so small, they need that shell to soften so that they can break through. If it stays hard, they're not going to break through, which means they might pip, but they can't break the shell open. That's why you have to increase that humidity to 75%, so that they can easily break through and be happy and healthy and strong, because they could possibly use all of their strength to break out of the egg, and then they might die in the incubator or die the next day in the brooder because they gave all their energy to just break through. But if you increase that humidity to soften that egg, they didn't use as much energy, which means they're good to go. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to ask again, and I will try to explain in a different way. Brian Ayers is in the house. I'm a Quail U graduate. It was and is a great resource. Terrific job. Thank you very much. At the beginning, if you didn't join at the very beginning, I actually mentioned you, telling you congratulations on graduating Quail U last week. Let's see, Brian A was last week. Yep. I didn't do it last week because we had Mother's Day and I didn't do a live, but congratulations on graduating, and you're off to the races. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. And remember, if you want, a more intimate one-on-one or whatever for a Zoom class, we've got those on the Quail University website as well, where you can sign up for those as well. But you are off to the races, and congratulations. Mojo23 is in the house from northern Wisconsin. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Work Hard Game Big is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Full Astern is in the house. We are 1 week into our very first incubation. We'll be our first birds. Very excited. That's super exciting. Awesome. I do have a playlist called The Hatching Process. I highly recommend you checking some of those videos out. I think that it will give you just more things to think about on how you want to do things. But very exciting. That really is very exciting. One thing that I really love about Quail is that there's so many milestones along the way, like incubating your first eggs, or hatching your first chick, or getting your first egg, or hatching your own first egg, from the quail that you've been raising, or butchering the first time and eating what you raised for your family, or selling your first eggs, or there's so many milestones in such a short amount of time. So I said all that just to say congratulations, and you were well on your way, and I wish you all the best. And obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Mojo23 says, what would cause our quail to start eating much more than normal? It could be the environment as far as the heat. Obviously, they'll drink a lot more and eat a lot more during the warmer months, which is kind of contradictory, but they kind of don't eat as much during the cold months. I don't know why that is. I just know that is what it is. It could be that they're molting. Usually when they molt, they tend to actually eat a lot more. That would be my two guesses, but I have limited information, so that would just be two things to think about. Bob is in the house. How do you manage males that are waiting to be meat birds? Ours seem to attack each other. I've actually got a good video on that you might want to check out. Sorry, I got a text. I've got a good video on that. If you put in like Bachelor Pad by Myshire Farm, that video will show up and it will go into a lot more in depth. But a short answer would be you can have a bachelor pad. We have many bachelor pads at all times. If you cover the cage or give them no light, so you can put a tarp over it or blanket or move them somewhere where they don't get the regular light, whatever the case may be, that will help them not attack each other. Another one would be that when you're growing them out, if they're feather sexable, separate the males from the hens, the males from the hens at 3 weeks old. And if they're not around the hens, they tend to not be as aggressive when they get older, if they're going into a bachelor pad. That video that I just mentioned, Bachelor Pad by Myshire Farm on YouTube, that will go in depth a lot more and explain a lot more of the process, but that would be part of it. You're welcome, 966. Veronica says, I started too big and got overwhelmed, back off and now incubate once orders come in. And Zach, thank you for being there when I needed extra hatching eggs. I learned people will wait for chicks. Absolutely. I'm glad that factor, but it sounds like you regrouped and figured out your process, and I'm very proud of you. So congratulations on that, and I wish you all the best. And that's kind of, for those of you that listened to the story at the very beginning, I kind of gave a long-winded 15-minute story, but it's really good, so check it out at the beginning of the video, or the live is what I'm doing right now. It's not a video. Well, it'll be a video one. It doesn't matter. Anywho, that's kind of where they were at, is they got way too overwhelmed with all the process, hatching the quail, buying the incubator, and then buying brooders, and then taking care of the brooders, and then moving them to, cages. And I think that they'd even bought just grow out cages, and then they bought layer cages, and then they needed more because they were trying to increase, and so they were trying to build their own, plus they were working 40 hours a week, plus they were doing this, and they've got kids and all this stuff, and it just got way too overwhelming. And so they went to the process that I mentioned in the story, as far as just selling the chicks and hatching eggs that they get from us, and that's their process. But sometimes just taking a step back and saying, okay, I can do this and I can do that. I don't have time for this, this, and this. So I either got to give something up over here, or I got to get rid of these processes. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? And what works for them is, I just don't have the time, energy, or effort to be able to raise the quail. I can just sell them at day olds. So that's what we're going to do. And it works great for them. So, but it sounds like you're doing great as well. Barthas now says, thank you. My 10-year-old son is beginning this journey in raising and hatching quail. New subscriber from Minnesota. Well, welcome. Tell your 10-year-old son congratulations and good luck. And if he has any questions, he can feel free to ask or text, and we'll try to help as much as we can. No one's talking to me for a second. I apologize. I got a text message just a second ago, and so I just want to do a shout out. Vase Place does a fantastic job on here, helping out and moderating the channel. Ed Got Bait does a lot on here as well. He also sends me a ton of information to help YouTube videos and do better with this and do better with that, and gives me ideas. And he does a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He actually made a couple of I don't know what they're called. What are they called? The scan things, the barcodes, the things that you can take pictures of with your phone, and it goes to the site where you don't have to type anything in. What is it called? It doesn't matter, I guess. QR code. Thank you very much. Anyways, obviously, I'm the worst technological person ever in the history. I feel like I'm like a 97-year-old man that just, it's like, oh, what are those phones? When I was your age, I had pagers, and that was enough for me. Like, that's where I'm at mentally with technology. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what my problem is. God have mercy on everybody that knows me when I'm 90 years old, because, whew. Anyways, he helped me make a couple of those. Jenna's putting some videos together. So, like, on our lives going forward, like before we go live, there's a picture that says, Sunday Night Live Q&A or whatever. There's going to be a QR code on there as well. He made one for our website and one for Myshire Farm website, and so he does a lot behind the scenes. So I just wanted to do a special shout out to both of them that do a lot of work, on here, on Facebook, and behind the scenes. So thank you very much. I lost my spot because I found it. FJ is in the house. FJF Judson is in the house from Central Louisiana. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Work Hard Game Big says, what brand humidifier can you suggest for the incubator? We use Humidikit if you're talking about a humidifier. If you're talking about a hygrometer that tests the humidity in the incubator, then I would recommend a Govee. But if you're looking for an actual humidifier, we use something called the Humidikit. Captain Hollis Forrester's in the house says, hello, Zach. Thank you so much from South Texas. I'm self-employed as well, and know you work hard, man. Hey, it's necessary to keep a sandbox in the hutch at all time. Turns into a mess at times. It does. We try to do that, and it just does not work for us. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a great idea. I think they love it. But oh dear God, that turned into a disaster for us. So yeah, it can get messy when you have this many quail. Yud P is in the house, and welcome. Glad you're here, and good luck on your self-employment as well. Yud P says, would you recommend grind laying feed crumble? I found that my quail doesn't waste as much crumble. No, I will never, ever, ever recommend grinding any feed of any sort, of any kind, at any point in my life. I think it's a horrible idea. Now, some people do it and swear by it, and that's, everybody can raise quail the way they want, but I will never recommend it. I don't think it's a good idea. Long story short is, when you buy it from Tractor Supply or a local feed mill or a local, feed store, whatever the case may be, there is a scientific process on how they do it. It all starts one way, then they've got a machine to make it this, and they've got a machine to make it this, and they've got a machine to make it this, and those machines scientifically say, this is how much nutrients are in this, and it's not this, that, and the other. When you grind the feed, you are taking those nutrients and just putting them haphazardly wherever you want to put them, which is not your fault. It's just the way it is. And so, 40% of the food could be nothing but waste. There might not be any nutrients in that at all. And then the other 60% might be double the nutrients. But some of your quail might not get that 60%. Some of your quail might just get the 40% of nothing. And then you start having issues. So that's the easiest way why I can explain that I never recommend grinding feed. It's a great question, though, and it gets brought up a lot, so I'm glad you asked. Mojo23 says, once we get our Myshire quail hatched, would you mind that when we sell birds, we say that they are Myshire genetics? I'm not allowed legally to answer that question because there's certain things going on. How can I can tell you this. I support anybody that's trying to make an income and trying to get the word out and educate people about Coturnix quail. And if mentioning my name or my YouTube channel or Quail University helps you, whatever helps, I'm good with. However, I don't handle it well when I find out that there's, and I'm not saying you would, there's a reason why I can't come out and specifically say yes or no. If there's any moral issues, if there's any deception, I tend to get a little mean and take it to levels that no one wants to see. I work very, very hard on giving Myshire a name of honesty and trust and integrity and this, that, and the other. So, if you say, these came from Myshire Farm, or, these are Myshire Farm genetics, or whatever the case may be, but if you're saying that you are Myshire Farm, or you're a part of Myshire Farm, that's when it gets really, really ugly really fast. So I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying there's certain things going on right now where I am not actually allowed to say that answer. Whew, that was... Probably should have just skipped it. Larry's in the house. My quail chicks got... oh, really? I was losing 2 to 3 per day. I gave them cord and it worked. How often should I give it to them for prevention? He's saying that his quail got coccidiosis. You were the second person that I've ever heard have coccidiosis in your quail, ever. And the first time I've ever heard it was 7-8 years ago, if not longer. I've not heard it since, and I didn't hear it before that. So that is very, very rare to get that. Very rare. So I don't really want to give you advice, because the advice that I would normally say is I wouldn't treat them with Corid. It's very unlikely that you get that. However, if you did have it and it's been a confirmed case, then it's hard to say. I would contact your MPIP office or a vet and see what they recommend. But I usually don't recommend treating... I don't recommend treating quail with Corid or anything that they're not showing signs of. Like, preventiveness is fine, but I don't know. I think that would be your call. I think you're gonna know more about your situation than me. I've not had to experience that, knock on wood. And again, I've only known one other person to ever experience that, and that was a long time ago. And they had their chickens and quail together. And that was the issue there. Home Field Honey and Produce is in the house. Sorry I'm late. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We're glad you're here. If you can, support the channel by just hitting the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to 120 likes tonight. In fact, Home Field Honey and Produce says thumbs up, everyone. So let's just do what he says. That'd be great. Perlin Barker's in the house from Washington, Georgia. Good evening. I've successfully identified 5 hens and 10 roosters, but only 1 hen started laying 8 days ago. I do have a video that is, if you type into the YouTube search bar, quail not laying by Myshire Farm, or hens not laying by Myshire Farm, a video will come out. It will come up. It will give you a lot of really good info, and a lot of different reasons or why that would be, or a lot of things to check to see which one it would be. However, with that being said, the most common reason is they need about 16 to 18 hours of light a day. It also sounds like they're probably 6 weeks old, and so that's still kind of young. So I give them a little bit of time, but they do need that 16 to 18 hours of light a day. But the other video goes into a whole lot of reasons. That would just be the top one. Top 2, age and light. Sean is in the house. Sean and Jeff of Southern Dreams Farm in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Vaseplay says 95 here and only 58 thumbs up. We're up to 90, so we're getting there. We're getting there. So if we can hit the like button, I greatly appreciate it. Andrea Perry's in the house from North Carolina for the moment anyway. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. Sean says, hatched out 30 of the 59 jumbo wild received from you. Lost 5, but now everyone is doing great. That is wonderful to hear. 30 out of, you would have ordered 50. 30 out of 50. That's not too bad at all. Congratulations. Thank you very much for letting me know. And I wish you the best on the babies. It sounds like you've got it down pat now. None that are struggling. So that's great. Congratulations. Luna's in the house, says welcome. Glad you're here. Barry's in the house. How about 10 hens and 2 males? If you're asking if you can put those together, yes, you can put multiple hens, multiple males together. Still recommend a 5-to-1 ratio, 5 hens to every 1 male, but I mean, we can have up to, 20 males, and, we can't have up to 20 males. That's too many birds in one cage. But it's 5 hens to 1 male, and you can have, 10 hens and 50, or 10 males and 50 hens in the cage, and they'll do just fine as long as it's 5 hens to 1 male and 3 quail per square foot. Kay's in the house, just hatched out 50 baby quail yesterday. I didn't know about you when I bought my eggs, but couldn't have had any success without your videos. I will definitely buy from you in the future. Well, congratulations. I hope you got a good hatch rate, and that's okay. You didn't order from us. I'm glad that we could help in some way, and we'll be here in the future if you ever want to get some more. But congratulations, and I hope you did great. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Luna says, hey, when do you announce the winner? For the 18 and under contest, we do that the first Sunday of every month. Found it. Carla Coker says, Myshire Farm, you have the greatest videos live ever. Thank you for all the info. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We try, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and hopefully we can help you on your adventure with quail. Homefield Honey and Produce says, have you done any research to see what breeds produce a higher ratio of hens to roosters, etc.? You're always going to get a 50% average. Now, that doesn't mean that sometimes you might not get a 90% male hatch rate, and that also doesn't mean that you might not get a 90% hen hatch rate. But overall, it's always going to be a 50%. Like, you just can't. It is what it is. It's just going to average 50%. Luna says, hi, Zach. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Rebecca says, it's a great answer. Thank you. Good. I'm glad. I think it was one of those questions that I said, if that doesn't make sense, feel free to re-ask. Teresa's in the house. Vermont is in the house. I'll be sending in a second order from you soon. My new incubator just came in, and I'm excited to get a scarlet quail. That is wonderful. Good luck. I hope that your incubator does well for you and you don't have any issues. Good luck on your next hatch, and we'll be ready for you. We're down to 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks out on everything in the barn. And I'm excited about that, because that means I get to do the next step, which is live quail. Luna says, I can't wait for your announcement. Thank you very much. It will be, you know what? We might actually change that, because I will not be here on the 4th of June, which is the first Sunday of the month. So I'll probably announce the 18 and under contest winner for June next Sunday, the 28th. That's a good thinking. I might have to do a short on that. 18 and under next week. That's not how you spell that at all. Spelling's hard, guys. I'm glad you asked, because I need to do something about that. Mojo23 says, do you have a video on calibrating an incubator? I do not. I know that the Little Giant and the Nurturite 360 had calibration instructions in the box. I don't think the Hovabator did. I'm almost positive the Hovabator didn't, unless we missed it. But I don't actually have a video on that. It wouldn't be a bad idea to do a video on that. I still wouldn't trust the incubator though. Dr. Connie says, do you ever get new babies that can't lift their chest up off the floor? I had 2 now. They run around, scoot around. I called. No, not really. I mean, maybe every once in a while we do, but we call them immediately. We're pretty... The pickiest times that we are is at hatch moving at 3 weeks old, moving them from the brooder to the main barn, and at 8 weeks old is when we put them in the breeders. So those are the 3 times that we actually, like, one by one look at them and go, nope, or whatever the case may be. So we don't really, there's definitely a lot more 8 weeks old that we don't want to put in the breeder program than chicks or the 3 week olds. Tony's in the house from Toronto. Welcome. We're glad you're here. I've always wanted to go to Canada. John says, Zach, question. Could you make a YouTube short about the rare feather quail? You said 2 weeks ago you might put it on Facebook. All right. That 8 different color quail. That would be a great short. I don't even know what to call that. Multi-color. It's not even a quad color. It's like so many colors. Multi-color quail short. That's a great idea. I will try to get that done. I will get that done in the next 2 weeks. I'll try to get that done today. I won't post it today, but I'll try to get that done. I lost my spot. I'm so sorry. Oh, there it is. FJ says, do you have any hatching eggs at this time for sale? We do. MyshireFarm.com, and everything on the website is about 1 to 3 weeks out. And if you order like BTAs or any tuxedo or Graufies, Rosettas, Tibetans, Scarlets, those probably would go out in a few days. The rest of them about a week to 2 weeks out, and most of the jumbos, except for the white wings, would go out in about 2 to 3 weeks. But the white wings, I just finished my last order. That's just straight white wings. I've got like 5 more orders of white wings, but they're going with other things that are not ready yet. So I'm very excited about that. Quail University is in the house. I would assume it's Linda. It is. It says, howdy, this is Linda from Sacramento, California. Zach, your story was so inspiring today. I love hearing about people who are becoming more self-sufficient with quail in terms of food and financial gain. Well, thank you very much. I probably was a little long-winded on that story at the beginning of the live, but I felt like they worked really hard for a year and a half to get something really big, and I felt that a 15-minute talk from me still didn't give them justice, but I was just really proud of them and thought that you did a great job. And usually when someone else succeeds, that inspires someone else to start going at it. So thank you very much. Let's see. Luna's in the house from Tennessee. Welcome. Larry's in the house. It must be a calm day where you were at. The trees outside your window are not even blowing. It's a very calm day here, which is, I prefer the wind, but obviously it gets too windy too, so I like to complain though, so it doesn't matter. Michael is in the house. Bought 50 Jumbo Wilds, ready to rock and roll when they arrive. Awesome, good luck, and I wish you all the best. We are getting real caught up on jumbos real fast, so I'm really excited about that. Kay is in the house from Missouri. My first quail are a day old. I'm excited to start this journey of raising quail. That is wonderful to hear. Good luck. I wish you all the best. And I just did a video 2 weeks ago about how to keep your baby quail happy and healthy. And hopefully that will help you. And I wish you all the best. Good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Winnie Field says, my best hatches are dry. I'm only doing dry hatches now. Yeah, we talked about dry hatch. I'm probably going to do a video on that because the weather is changing and most places in the U.S. can do dry hatches. And that eliminates one issue on the incubation process. So I'll try to get that video done this week. I've got a lot of things to do this week, so I will do my best. James is in the house from Hill Pasture Farm in Meridian, Mississippi. Welcome. We're glad you're here. I lost my spot. Foster Farm says, Zach, you should drop by. You're always welcome. Thank you very much. I'll be. I actually just found out that we were going to Tennessee. I don't really know where we're at. I don't really know much about it. I just know we're going in a couple weeks. Diana Tuttle from Top Farm says, here in Kansas, we always have high humidity, and I have been doing a dry hatch to lockdown. I've been getting much higher hatch rate. That's great to hear. I'm glad it's working for you. Kay's in the house, didn't know about Myshire when I bought them. Next ones will be 70, fit in the incubator and hatched 50. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's great. You did great. So congratulations to you. James says, I'm doing good trying to build up my quail eggs to do another batch. That is wonderful to hear. Good luck. Always exciting to do that. Brian says, hi, Zach. Can I put an extra fan in my incubator to take care of the hot-cold spot? Yep, that's exactly what you want to do. Yeah, it's a circulation issue if there's hot and cold spots, there's a circulation issue. So yeah, either move the fan that you've got, which usually does the trick, or add another one in, but that can also give you a lot of issues. So usually the first thing you want to do is just try to move that fan up or down or left to right or where, I don't know your specific incubator, and see if that fan will do the trick. If not, then you'd want to add another one. But most likely you're going to need to move this fan that you've got to separate. James says, I currently have 8 females and 3 males. Good luck building the covey up. Carrie Ricker's in the house. Hey, from New York, tuning in late. Well, welcome. We're glad you stopped by. Glad you're here. And I think you're the first New Yorker tonight, so welcome. I don't think so. Glenn Wells says, hello, everyone from Southeast Missouri. Just finished 9 quail apartment awaiting occupancy. Have 84-week-olds to pick from. Thanks for all the help. Good luck. I wish you all the best, and you're well on your way. So I'm sure you'll fill those quail apartments up real fast. Left-handed Stan is in the house. Says, hey, Zach, which roos do you recommend keeping to breed in the feather sexable mix? Desiring a nice continued mix of colors. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So feather sexable to feather sexable, no matter what the color is, will always produce feather sexable. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind, which is always nice. If there's any white, so like if you got a white wing, you might not want to put that in the breeding program, because the white can travel to everything else, and eventually you'll start getting tuxedos and things like that. The roux gene will take over a cage like that. So I necessarily, unless you like the roux gene, which is like that reddish orangish color, I don't necessarily know if you want that color to be your males. If it's your hens, it's not that big of a deal. But like in our cages, our feather sexable cages, or even in our variety choice cages, our mixed cages, we don't have any roux that is the male. Now we do have Egyptians in the feather sexable cages, but they're the hens. Or like we've got scarlets in the feathers are in the mixed cages, but they're not the males, because the roux will just take over, and eventually, 2 hatches later, and everything in your cage is going to be, the red gene, the roux gene, which I've got a video on under the playlist all about the colors. So that's something you want to keep in mind as well. But really, you can put anything and everything together and still get cool stuff. If you got the feather sexable mix, the best thing to do is try to find your fees. Whether it's fab fee or pearl fee or grout. Well, you wouldn't have gotten grout fee. It's not feather sexable. Pansy fee, Egyptian fee, something, anything that's fee. Make that your males, put all the other hens together, and that will continue to produce a lot of fun colors for you. Dr. Connie says, for what it's worth, I bought a second Nurturite 360. My first one quit the egg turner function, so 2 hatches now. Dry hatch is the new one, locked down with the water humidity, and the older one, amazing hatch rates. Wonderful to hear. Mary's in the house. I'm waiting on the other 21 eggs to hatch out. I ordered 50, set 59, 2 broke when I was moving to lockdown. Total of 57 lockdown. So far, 36 hatched. 1 had a cord problem, bled out. Well, that's not too bad. 36 out of 57 into lockdown, and you're still going. So good luck. At the end of, I don't know what day you're on, but at the end of tomorrow, I would increase your humidity about 5 to 7%, increase your temp a half a degree, and let it go for another 72 hours. But I wouldn't do that until um, tomorrow night. But I mean, you're already doing great, so congratulations. Um, I lost my spot. It looks like, James, I've 3 different pins. I have 4 females and 2 males in one pin, and male and 2 females in the other. In one pin with a female, I was trying something different to boost egg laying. When you don't have a good ratio of male to female, you're going to overstress those hens, which is not going to get them to lay because they're being overbred or chased or picked on by that male because the male is extra enthused about being mature and wanting to mate. And with that, he's going to stress out your hens so much that they're not going to lay at all. And it could stress them out so much that they could die. So that's why we recommend a 5-to-1. Now, a 4-to-1 will do close to the same job, but when it's a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1, your hens are just way too stressed out. Even if they don't look like they've been overbred, they just, believe me, they're way too stressed out because the male needs 4 or 5 hens, at least 4, but they really need 5 hens to keep all the hens like okay. Yud P says, I'm locked down again with my own jumbo wild eggs. I hope I get a better hatch rate this time. Well, good luck. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure you will. Chad says, I have a mixed flock in my aviary. Any pros and cons? No, not at all. They can all get along. We've got mixed cages. We've got 4 or 5. We've got 5 variety choice cages. We've got 4 feather sexable mixed cages. We've got 2 fee mixed cages, and then everything else is not mixed. They're all separated. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Shelly says, can quail eat sunflower seeds, or are they too large? I do not know specifically that answer. I do know some people do feed them sunflower seeds. I don't know if they do anything to them. We don't supplement the feed at all or give them anything like that. We'll give them like stuff from the garden in there, but not sunflower seeds. I think that it's okay, but don't quote me on that. I am not 100% sure, but I'm sure someone in the comments will have experience with it. Chad gave us a thumbs up. Thank you very much. If you can, hit the like button, support the channel. We are 2 away from 100, which would be awesome. I'd greatly appreciate it. Nate Bryant is in the house, says 25 ordered, hatched 21 Egyptian. I love those numbers. Congratulations, you did fantastic. Yeah, you did great. Congratulations. That's awesome. James says, I had to add the second male to calm the other one down because he was basically hurting my hens. I will move him out when the other 4 get older. If he does, Grush and I will dispatch. Yeah, well, the 2 males are just going to be fighting now over the few hens. Unfortunately, you're going to continue to have issues. KNC Mystic Mountain Morphs is in the house, says hit that like button. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Vase Play says thumbs up, everyone. Again, thank you very much for all the support. I appreciate it. Eric is in the house, says hi. Welcome. We're glad you're here. It was the QR code. Thank you, everybody. Chad says, I love having mine on the ground. Yeah, they enjoy it. It's a lot of fun to watch them in an aviary. It doesn't really fit with our situation, our lifestyle, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. What does it mean some eggs come out with a white powder-like coating over egg? They just ran out of toner for the day. Not a big deal. Probably a calcium buildup is all. It's not like that every day. I wouldn't worry about it. It'll change, but every once in a while you'll get a neck like that. Nothing to be worried about. Just extra calcium for the day, and if it's all white, they just ran out of toner. Winnie Fields has any good info I can print out to display when I sell my eggs at a market. If you join the Facebook group Quail for Profit, obviously on Facebook, Linda Easton Waller has actually done a lot of really good posts on there about stuff like that. So I would definitely check that out. Mojo23 says, last week I bought up the QR code for hatching rates. Any luck with that? Last week I brought up the QR code for hatching rates. Any luck with that? We did talk about it. We have to do some things on the website. The problem is the QR code has to go to a website, right? So we're going to try to put, I don't know yet. I'm afraid to do that on the website because you might get some, believe it or not, everybody, there's some people that hate me and want to see me fail really bad. So I'm afraid that if we put an option on our website to put in your own numbers for the hatch rate and it records it, that you might get some haters of mine get on there and just continuously do that. So we're looking into it to see if the only way you can do it is putting in your order number, which might work. But it's a great idea. Eventually it will work. I just don't know how long it'll take us to get that done because, well, frankly, I'm the worst at technology. But I do have some good minds working on it. Little Ridge Farm is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Gary's in the house. My wife has to do all that for me. I don't know what it was, but I mean, my wife feels like she has to do everything for me too, so I get it. Gary says, I simply ask where they get their quail from to keep them from crossbreeding. I simply ask where they get their quail from to keep from crossbreeding. Maybe you weren't talking to me. I don't remember talking about any of that. Steve's in the house from Chico, California. Video on quail automatic watering. I am finding those red poultry cups to be leaking into my manure trays. How high should they be mounted? Birds jump on them, etc. Tips appreciated. Yeah, get water troughs from Wynola Ranch, which is quailcage.com or wynolaranch.com. The troughs just clip onto the back of the cage. It is the best invention that's ever been made in history. I love them. I swear by them. They are fantastic. And we've got a video on them under Quail product reviews. And the picture of it is actually one of the red troughs. So check that out. That fixes all of your water issues. It's fantastic. Bill's in the house, says, hi Zach, I emailed you my hatch rate today. It was good. I got that. I've already plugged that into the numbers, so thank you very much. And yeah, I do believe it was like in the 80s. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Texas Top Shelf Reptile says, I just got the second notification. We'll have to watch it back. What thermostat do you use for your incubators? Jesus, I don't remember. It's black and about that big. Pretty common if you look on Amazon. I can't remember off the top of my head. If you go to our YouTube channel and go to the playlist Papa Builder of Things, there is a video on there about the lockdown, and he actually shows it to you, the name and everything like that. It's a fairly short video. It's just, what he did to build the lockdown, but it'll say the brand on there. I can't remember off the top of my head. Katrina says, Myshire is the best. You do such a good job with honesty and transparency. It helps the rest of us tremendously. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. She was referring back to the story that I told at the very beginning of a customer that contacted me this week. And it was a great story. So if you missed it, make sure you check out the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the live. And it's a story that's well worth it, I promise. Vicky says, hi, Steve Glover. I'm in Roseville, California, and have the same problem. Best practice is a cup or trough outside the cage so they cannot tip or mess with the water. Yep, absolutely. We did the cups for a little bit on the outside, but then the troughs are just so awesome. They're just so awesome. Texas Top Shelf Reptiles in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Vicente is in the house from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome. Glad you're here. Joy is in the house. I had 52 jumbo mix go into lockdown, 30 hatch, 2 head splay leg. Got that fixed. Totally love the colors I got. Wonderful to hear. Thank you very much for letting me know. 30 out of 50. Not a bad hatch rate at all on the jumbo mixes. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best. If you have any questions about raising them, feel free to ask. That's what we're here for. Mojo23 says, I was saying I wanted to promote Myshire genetics, not say we are Myshire. Sorry, I triggered some. No. I completely get it, and I'm not allowed to say. Chad's in the house. Don't forget your clock needs batteries. No, I specifically took them out because it clicks and I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Teresa's in the house. Integrity and good morals is. Where'd you go? Integrity and good morals is huge. Yes, your name is your heart, sweat, and tears. Understandably worth holding it in the good light. Thank you very much. Bob says, Zach, we have a full spectrum bulb on our Quail to extend the light to 16 hours. Is that good enough or does it have to be a brighter light? Nope, that's full spectrum's completely fine. Don't overthink it. You're doing just fine. Chad says, I don't know where everybody. Oh, there it is. Chad, Armoch. Oh, you're not talking to me. Carrie says we'll definitely be tuning in next week. We have started putting your lives on the TV because the girls wait to listen for announcements of the contest. There you go. The contest for next month is actually going to be next Sunday because I will not be available to do the live in 2 weeks, which is the first Sunday of the month. So next week I'll announce the 18 and under contest winner, but I'll do a short about it this week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the information on that. Where'd you go? Maria's in the house. First time in Quail. I ordered jumbo white. They are already 6 weeks old laying, and I have a hard time identifying the males from females. My 36 Quail all together in the same pen. That is wonderful to hear. Congratulations. About a week up to 2 weeks, you can start vent sexing. I've got videos about that on our YouTube channel. You can type into the search bar "vent sex" by Myshire Farm, and that will come up. And good luck. I wish you all the best. It sounds like you're doing great. 36 jumbo white Quail, and they're already laying eggs at 6 weeks, so you're doing great. Congratulations. John F. says, Brincy has videos on how to adjust incubators. There you go. Thank you very much. Yud P says, Zach, do you have any plan to get black quail in the future? In my opinion, black quail is either Graufies or dark Tibetans. And if it's actually the true black that came overseas, then no, because it carries lethal yellow, and that will never go into my barn. Carrie's in the house when adding to the newest hatch that's grown out to an aviary. What to do so it's smooth transition and doesn't hinder regular laying hens? It's a great question. You don't want to stress them too much. Usually when you do move them to a new environment, when adding the newest hatch that's grown out into an aviary, just put them in a box. Usually try to do it at night, and then just try to make it as smooth transition as possible, as far as not like jungle, doing this to the box while you're carrying them. But yeah, just don't stress them out. Just grab one at a time, put them in a box, cover it up, dark, and then just slightly move them over, put them in the aviary, and they're usually they might not lay for a few days, but yeah, nothing to worry about. Maria says, I ordered my second Brincia. The code from you guys saved me some money. Thank you, Zach. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. Glad that I'm very appreciative that they were willing to do that. And I was kind of hoping that they would maybe contact us and let us know how many people use that code. But they're a big company and I'm small potatoes, so I get it. But yeah, I'm glad you saved some money, and I'm glad that they were willing to do that. James is in the house. I actually got almost a solid white quail out of my last hatch. When I originally start with my quail, I was given 3 quail, 2 hens, and a male. Congratulations. Good luck. Yeah, Graufies and Tibetans. Scarlet fees are really like a red Graufie. Or it's a scarlet with the fee gene, which is why we call it scarlet fee. Chad gave us a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Maria, not talking to me. OD says, how much do you think pasture-raised quail will sell for to restaurants and farmers markets? About the same as as anything else. I don't think you'll get any much. If you do get some more money, I don't think it would be very much for pasture-raised quail and keeping them alive or continue to lay eggs. I mean, if you're just doing the meat, then it wouldn't be the end of the world, but you're going to get bigger meat by not giving them pasture. in my opinion, it just doesn't make sense trying to do the business side with them doing pasture. Like you're not going to recoup that money. Either they're not going to get big enough, or they're not going to continuously lay eggs for you daily. So the production is going to be very, very low. If you're just trying to do it small time and just do it for yourselves, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that is something that you'll need to decide and think about, is if you put them on pasture and you're doing meat, they're going to take a lot longer to get to the size because there's a lot of stress factors and you're continuing to move them and this, that, and the other, and keeping them alive. And if you're doing egg production, well, with the pasture thing and you're moving them all the time and light and this, that, and the other, and new environments all the time, they're not going to be very productive for you. So just keep that in mind if you're going to try to sell to restaurants and farmers market, or well, restaurants. Mojo says, anyone have a trick other than quail scissors to open the eggs? Felt like forever to open the 12 I use for breakfast. My trick is quail scissors. Sorry. Stephen Hogan's in the house from Tennessee. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Happy Homestead is in the house. Oh, not talking to me. A. Jones is in the house. Says, hey, Zach, just checking in from the Northeast Ohio. Welcome. Glad you're here. Kevin Short is in the house, gave us the thumbs up. Thank you very much. We are only 14 away from getting our goal tonight of 120 likes. So if you're on and you've not hit the like button, please do so. Contribute to that and help us hit our goal. I greatly appreciate it. Just like Ed Got Bait says, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. There you go. Katrina says aviaries are great. They love them. Absolutely. Dellenbach Farms is in the house. How do you professionally tell customers you cannot take on any more orders without losing them? I am hatching and building as much as I can, but cannot keep up with orders. They want 6,000 eggs a month. I mean, you explain it just like that. I'm not willing to sacrifice the quality of my egg. I'm not willing to sacrifice the quality of my eggs or the quality of my meat or the qualities of whatever I'm selling. I'm assuming they're wanting eggs, so I'm not willing to sacrifice the quality of the eggs or the egg size or the production of the eggs just to try to make a little bit more money. So I need you to go at my pace because I want to give you the highest quality out there. If you explain what the real reason is, and not that I don't want to make money, not that I don't want to give you what you want, it's that, look, I can only go so fast, and if I go faster, I'm going to have to skip steps. And if I skip steps down the road, it's going to affect the quality, which ultimately affects your customers. So if you're upfront and honest and transparent, I mean, most people get that. And if they don't, then you probably don't want them as a customer anyway. You know, I lose customers because of our wait time, and it is what it is. And I could increase our numbers, and I could go faster, and this, that, and the other. But I would have to increase prices because I can't, for different reasons. I won't get into that because probably nobody cares. But I've chosen this is the way we're doing it. And if I lose some sales along the way because they don't want to wait, then it is what it is. But I need to give them the best quality, and I need to be able to take care of our farm and give you the best price. And to do so, this is the way I have to do it. And if you don't trust me on that, then that's okay. If you don't believe me on that, then that's okay. And if you just don't like the answer, that's okay as well. But yeah, if you just explain it 95% of the time, if not more, they'll go, cool, thanks. Yeah, we're a customer for life. Appreciate it. Melody is in the house, says hello, enjoying Quail University, still have to finish. Wonderful, congratulations. I'm glad that you're enjoying it a lot. Make sure you leave us a review on the website, and I'm so happy about so many people taking it. I really do think that this is really going to be a game changer in the quail world when people start taking this course. So thank you for joining it, and I'm glad that it works. Carrie's in the house. I have a Graufi. He's beautiful, but he cannot be in a cage with any light colored of any kind. He tries to scalp them, but he's fine with dark colors. Is this aggression on something he can pass on? Probably not. I don't necessarily know if it's a good idea to continue to breed him. Usually you just don't want to even take the chance on that. But I would assume not. Quail can see colors, so that's why, like, Duke University, University of Kentucky, Syracuse. We work with them, and they like experimenting on the quail rather than rats because rats cannot see color where quail can see multiple colors. And so it's easier to test and easier to do this and easier to do that. So yeah, if maybe the white quail has a speck of blood or some food or something like that, they'll go after it, and then as soon as they see blood on a white quail or something like that, they're on it. So I wouldn't breed it. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's more of a color thing than anything else. But I wouldn't breed it just because there's a possibility that it can move on, and you don't want that possibility, if that makes sense. Katrina says you can add a QR code to the magnet you send to the lockdown day. That way you can link it to the specific order. I did like that idea as well. Unfortunately, the next size up on the magnet is way more, because we pay the magnet price out of our, like, we didn't increase the eggs to get the magnet price. We just wanted to help, and it's not that much. I think it's like 20 cents an order, which obviously adds up, but I do think that it helps a lot of people. But on the same token, the next size up is actually like 80 cents an order, and that adds up way too much, and I can't do it. We did look at that, and we might be able to change stuff. We might even just take the top where it says Myshire Farm off and just put the QR code. But I'm afraid that they don't really. Why is there a QR? I don't know. But that is being discussed. I lost my spot. Souls in a Bottle's in the house from Maine. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Vase Play says Inkwell, isn't it, Zach? I don't know what Inkwell is. I'm sorry. Jan is in the house. Hello from Joe and Jan Steffi. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Castle Highs is in the house. Says, hey, y'all, have a question. When can I move chicks outside? I'm in Northeast Ohio. They're 3 weeks old now. You can move them now. Not a big deal at all. Not a big deal at all. So now, 3 weeks old during the hotter months. 4 weeks old if it's a little bit cooler. Because it's the beginning of spring and some days might get cold here in Ohio still, it wouldn't be a horrible idea to wait 1 more week just to be safe. I don't think you would have to. I think you can do it now with no issues, but on the safe side, you can move them next week. Obviously, dead of summer, move them at 3 weeks old, not a big deal. Mid to late fall and all of winter, you need to wait till they're fully 4 weeks old. Glenn Wells says, public service announcement, if your hands are full of eggs, don't put some of them in your back pocket. Don't ask how I know this. Unfortunately, I know that, and I've learned that the hard way, and we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Castle Hive says, we have some of the Growlfee, and they look amazing. Thank you very much. I really do like the Growlfee. In fact, I did videos on the Growlfee and the Growlfee tuxedo this week. If you just started, Quail, or the Jumbo White Wing comes out tomorrow, the video on it. I highly recommend checking it out. We've worked on that for over 1.5 years, almost exclusively, and we are very happy with the numbers, so you'll want to check that out. Gary Shirley says, was talking about when someone asked about using your brand name or using your name for a genetics brand, and my wife does all the technology because I'm a computer. Oh, yes, absolutely. Me too. Bill Thompson says, very satisfied with my Jumbo Pharaoh from Myshire. 40 poopers went into the cages today and are doing great. Love to hear that. Thank you very much. Digman says, my Jumbo Wild eggs will be here tomorrow. Very excited. My quail hutch is 20 feet from my chicken coop. Can this be a problem? Heard you say something earlier in the stream. 20 feet's quite a bit. I think that you'll be fine. If they're in cages and the chickens are on the ground, it's really not a big deal. If they're side by side, it could be an issue. Or if they're on the ground together, that's a for sure 100% issue. But if your quail hutch is 20 feet away from the chicken coop, you're not going to have a problem at all. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Nope. But long story short is all animals carry some sort of disease. Like all chickens carry some sort of salmonella or some sort of avian influenza or some sort of, like, they always carry just a little bit, but they're immune to it because, they've been bred for it and this, that, and the other. Not a big deal. However, the amount that chickens have compared to quail is completely different because the quail are obviously larger and can handle more diseases and more stuff in the environment and things like that. So if the quail and the chicken interact, well, they can spread that disease to the quail, and the quail's heart and lungs and body in itself can't handle the same thing as the chicken, so therefore it can get sick. Whereas the chickens might not show anything. But if they're in a hutch, don't worry about it. I'm probably making you freak out for no reason, so just no worries. We need 5 more likes to hit our goal, so hit that like button. RBL Jackson's in the house, has had 90 eggs in the incubator and successfully hatched out 60 Bob Whites. It was our first attempt at the Bob Whites. Congratulations, very exciting. FJ says, I will be ordering the Chernix mixed eggs. Well, then most likely it'll go out next week, so good luck. Beam Farms is in the house, here late as always. I was candling a balut order, always exciting. So good luck with that. And congratulations on the order. Rick is in the house from Missouri. Have you done a video on getting MPIP certified? We have. We've done a couple different videos on MPIP. We've actually had our MPIP instructor do a couple different videos. What it would be under would be a great question. I don't remember what playlist, but if you type in NPIP by Myshire Farm, there should be 3 or 4 videos that show up. M. Barth is in the house. Would the Genoa 12 be a good incubator for hatching quail? I don't have any experience with it. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't have personal experience with it. I can't tell you that. I can tell you that I really do believe you can get a good hatch rate on almost any incubator. It just depends on the effort you put into it. So for example, the Brencias are a little bit more expensive, but it's a set them and leave them. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to monitor it as much. Whereas, like the Little Giant, you can still get just as good of a hatch rate, but you do have to work with it a little bit more. It takes a little bit more of your time. RBL Jackson says, unrelated to quail, but big news for us. We rode to our spring motorcycle rally that we attend, and the wife won the Harley-Davidson bike drawing. Big weekend. That's awesome. Really cool. That's really cool. Congratulations. No Reality 13 says, I have some really aggressive male quail. Thought I had my numbers right versus hen 1 to 5, but I have really bloodied up hens. Any advice? I would check that ratio 1 to 5. Make sure there's 3 hens to every 1 male. That would be the first 2 things I would do. I also have a video that goes into like 5 things to check out and try to fix. If you put aggressive quail by Myshire Farm in the YouTube channel or in the YouTube search, that video will come up. That might help you a little bit. But I would recheck the 5 hens to 1 male, and I would recheck the 3 quail per square foot first. Make sure that they always have food and water, and then I'd watch that video for the others. But long story short, if you're seeing aggression, I would take the males out for right now until you go through. I'd take a piece of paper and write down, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this. And if you watch that video, it will give you 5 or 6 different things. And then you can just, okay, nope, it was 5 to 1. Nope, it's 3 quail per square foot. Nope, they don't run out of food or water, and go down the list and try to narrow it down to what it could be, is what I would do. Souls in a Bottle says, got the shell of my hutches built, just waiting on the hardwire cloth to come in and finish them up. That's very exciting. Congratulations on that as well. Very rewarding. Feather Connections Homestead says, forgot to say, popped in to listen for a bit but didn't comment. I have to text you about the lethal yellow gene. I got some questions. Love you all, Quail fam. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And yeah, feel free to. Corey's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Rick is in the house. Says, Zach Lowe from Missouri. Have you done a video on the MPI certification? I did just answer that. Just type in the YouTube search bar MPIP by Myshire Farm. Multiple videos will come up. And most of them are from the MPIP instructor themselves. Chad says, hey, I noticed it's if oh wait, Chad says, yeah, I noticed if hens come in not ready to breed, the roos don't really give a hoot. Yep, absolutely. No Reality says, I greatly appreciate the advice, not a problem, and I hope that helps. Diana Tuttle says, I trust you and it's worth the wait. Thanks for all you do and have done. Thank you very much, and we will not let you down. Chad says, can't you remove the males and then reintroduce him after the pecking order changed and may help? It might, but you, the way I would explain it is you really want to find out the root cause, because if you don't fix the root issue, then you're just prolonging the issue, if that makes sense. And taking a male out and introducing it later usually doesn't fix the problem. It would make sense that it would once they settle down and all, but typically they won't. So you really need to find why this was. Maybe it was just a bad male, or it was, ratio, or it was lighting, or it was this, or it was that, and you need to narrow that down first. Otherwise, you're just going to have to deal with it later on. So it's not a bad idea. It's just I've learned the hard way. Shelly's in the house. Personally, we wouldn't use the QR code. I feel that is too. I don't use QR codes. I think they're too high tech for me. So that is something to think about as well. Claude Alley is in the house. I'm in the mid hatch as we speak. My first go at incubating. So far, so good. That is wonderful to hear. Good luck, and we wish you all the best. Another thing about the QR code for the hatch rate is I really do think that it's valuable and important to have some communication. I hate the fact that people spend so much time selling themselves, selling them product, and then once you buy it, you never talk to them again. So I like having that open door where you're more than welcome to email or text me with the numbers, and at least I'm responding back to you. It might just be a congratulations, or it might be, tips and tricks for next time, whatever it may be, but at least there's some line of communication, where I'm afraid that if we go to a QR code, then it's just another, you ordered from us and then you never talk to us again. So I'm very cautious about that. So that's one thing that kind of holding me back. Now, I think the QR code is cool for, screenshots on the video or this, that, and the other to help, and it's convenient, but I don't want that to be a huge thing, if that makes sense. Rose Wilson's in the house from Warm Springs, Arkansas. Good to hear from all quail people. Thanks. Welcome. We're glad you're here. No Reality 13 says, haven't reintroduced as yet. Multiple males have scalped the hens. If it's a multiple male issue, then I would assume it's not an aggressive issue. It's an environmental issue, which, don't take offensively, that just means it's fixable, right? So I'd watch that video. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to comment. I do check the YouTube comments daily. So I'll always respond on there, which might be easier just because you're watching the video. But it leads me to believe that it's an environmental thing, which we can figure out and we can fix. And yeah, adding hens might be the X factor, but yeah, again, most issues with quail is more of a process of elimination. Nope, it's not the feed. Nope, it's not the water. Nope, it's not the lighting. Nope, it's not the ratio, male to female ratio. Nope, it's not the square feet. It's, and once you understand the process, it's not as overwhelming. So, keep that in mind as well. The first time you're trying to figure it out, it is very overwhelming, and I get that. But once you do it the first time, the second time you're way more equipped, and then the third time you're even more equipped, and by the fourth time, it just automatically happens in your head, and you go, oh, I know. So just practice makes perfect. And coming into issues is the best way to learn. So keep positive. It could be an age thing as well. Souls in a Bottle says, my order is supposed to ship the week of the 1st. Getting so excited, my incubator is set up and placed where my 3-year-old can't reach it. My hutches are almost ready. Can't wait. Well, good luck. I wish you all the best. And moving it out of the 3-year-old's reach is probably a really good idea. I have a question about umbilical cords hanging on to the hatchlings. Yeah, we just let it go. It takes care of itself. I wouldn't worry about it. Very rarely do you get that. You can get it every once in a while, but I don't have percentages for you, but it's pretty rare. So when it does happen, we just let it go, and it's kind of fun to watch, and they take care of it itself. It's a good question. Teresa says, "Is it okay to give quail 3 weeks old tap water that has chlorine in it?" Yep, not a problem at all. Um, Free wardens in the house. Hello from Iowa. We just put 120 variety choice in lockdown yesterday. Should be hatching any day. Well, good luck. We wish you all the best. Obviously, keep me posted. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But good luck to you. um, no one's talking to me right now. Need more pop videos. He kind of retired doing his own thing. I don't think it'd be a horrible idea, but trying to get together, and it's rough. I'm literally working from when I wake up till 8, 9 o'clock at night, and just finding time. Time, man. Time's the issue. Shadowed by Light is in the house. Could you please talk about quail sickness, disease, and treatments? My quail seems sick and I don't know what to do. We do have a couple of videos on that. You can type that into the YouTube search bar. I would need so much more information. Typically, quail do not get sick or diseases. It depends on if they're in the cage or on the ground. It depends what their male to female ratio it is. I mean, there's literally so many factors. If you do feel like your quail are sick, the best thing to do is go ahead and add electrolytes to the water twice a week for 2 weeks. Electrolytes, you can get like Save a Chick on Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive. You can put that in the water. You can get Rooster Booster also on Amazon. You can put that in their feed about once a week. You don't want to do it more than that. And you want to go from there. Typically, when people see a sickness in quail, it's usually a feed issue. But again, I would need a lot more information. Mystical Cat 713 is in the house from East Texas. How often do you need to trim the quail's beaks? I've never trimmed a quail beak in my life. Ever. You don't need to. It's a good question, but you don't need to. If you do, you really don't want it to be part of the breeding program anyway. But yeah, I've never trimmed a quail's beak in my life. You don't need to do that. That's a waste of time. They are looking fluffed in their feathers, seem down one moment and then running around crying. They seem not at all interested in eating or drinking. Most likely it's a feed issue. I would change your feed. Chad says, time's valuable, don't work. Don't work it all away or you will die. You will be old and can't spend it. I hear what you're saying. I've got some things that I need to get done though. So I do hear what you're saying, and there's sometimes where I do have to stop myself and say, nope, I got to do this. Like my son's in soccer, I don't miss a game. My daughter just did a gymnastics thing, and my other son literally just did a piano recital. I don't miss any of their stuff. Always take them to their classes and things like that. That's very important. But I could spend a lot more time with them. I could do this. I could do that. I could take some time for me. Blah blah blah. But there's some things I got to get done. So and I'm not just talking about work. I mean, there's goals, and I'm a very driven person, and I want to do these things so that later on I don't have to do things I don't want to do. It's kind of like Dave Ramsey. Live like no one else so that later on you can live like no one else. And so I need a better balance of that. I'm not arguing with that at all, but that's kind of my philosophy. Teresa says, thank you so much. These times are so informative. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Mystical Cat says, we purchased some quail chicks from a local person, and I noticed some of the lower beaks have grown longer. I would recommend not using them for a breeding program. I'm really sorry to hear that, or sorry to tell you that. Usually that's a genetic thing. You kind of want it out of your system. You could continue to trim them, but usually other things follow with that down the road. Be great if you're eating the eggs. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're selling the eating eggs, not a big deal. But if you're going to try to hatch out and continue to breed them, I would just use the ones that you didn't have to trim the beak. Sorry. Diana Tuttle from Tutt Farm says, thank you for the time you give to teach others. Well, not a problem. It is one of our passions. And that is all the questions tonight. We did hit our goal of 120 likes, so I really appreciate it. It was quite a long live Q&A tonight, so thank you everybody that stayed around. If you showed up late, it's not a big deal. We don't take attendance here. I did get some good information, but the first 20 minutes was announcements and a very long story. But that story is very inspirational, very good to hear. It'll warm your heart. It warmed mine, and I would love for the word to get out about that. I think it will help people. So if you missed it, make sure you check out the story at the beginning. It was a great story, and thank you everyone for the feedback on the hatch rates. We had some great hatch rates: 22 out of 25, 23 out of 25, 97 out of 110, 36 out of 50, 30 out of 50, 21 out of 25, and 30 out of 50. So thank you very, very much for all those. Those are wonderful numbers. I'll get that on our sheet. And I had some great ideas for videos. I will be doing a video as quickly as I can about dry hatching. I think that's a great idea for people to learn. If you're not, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these invaluable videos. I do have a video coming out tomorrow at 11 a.m., I do believe is when I said it, for the jumbo white wing, the jumbo white wing quail. I don't know why that was so hard for me. It's getting late. But you'll want to know those numbers for if you're looking to add some jumbos to your covey or to purchase. You really want to know this stuff. The jumbo white wings I was very impressed with. I'll try to get that dry hatch done. We will be doing an 18 under contest next week. I'll be doing a short on that, so make sure you're subscribed and watch the videos. I'll also be doing a short on a color you've never seen before. We're not going to do a long video. It's just going to be a 20-second video, and I'll just show you stills. I'll try to find live quail as well if I can, but it's a fantastic color. It's like 8 different colors in one quail. Like, it's really cool. I do have still pictures of it, so you'll definitely see that. And if I can find the quail, then I will do that as well. And then I will look into a calibrating incubator video as well. And then the rest of our announcements were at the very beginning. The first 5 minutes were the announcements you might not want to miss. And then the next 15 minutes was a story, but I'm telling you, you will not want to miss that story. Make sure you check it out. We've got a couple more comments I'll get through, and then we will get out of here. Maybe. Sounds like you're going to be old, rich, and tired. I hear what you're saying. It's more for my kids. I want to make sure that my kids can take this business over, and it's something that they want to take over and something that they can take over. And I really love for all the kids to stay on the farm and live on the farm, not in my house. They need to live in their own house and work for it and build it themselves, and I'll help them, but not in my house. But I'd love for all my kids to live on the farm and have, different businesses that they can, there's things that I want to accomplish. And if they don't want to do it, then that's not a big deal. But I want to, there's something that's very deep inside of me driving me to really make sure that they have the option. That's my thing. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Dr. Connie says, did you comment on QuailCon tonight? Push the excitement if you want. I did talk about it for just a second, not very much at the beginning, but QuailCon September 2nd and 3rd here. You want to check it out. It's on our website, myshirefarm.com. There's a tab that says QuailCon, gives you all the information about it. You will not want to check it, or you will not want to miss it. You do want to check it out. Katrina says, thanks for great information. Thank you. Mystical Cat says, yeah, our first purchase and experience with quail. We've been looking into purchasing some hatching eggs from you in a bit later. All right, well, good luck, and hopefully you can use the ones you've got. It's just not something you want to keep in mind. I'll say I'm very glad to have gotten into raising quail. I'm glad to hear that, and I wish you all the best in future endeavors. James says, great show tonight. Good night to all. Absolutely, thank you very much. And Mojo says, great plan. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everybody have a wonderful night. You'll see me tomorrow. If you're subscribed to the channel, you'll see me on a video you will not want to miss. I will make sure we do a couple more videos this week to help you on your adventure with quail. And until next time, everybody, as always, stay safe.